and Jason and Bill will have the 7th place game and the 3rd place game a little bit later on. The winner of this will take on Duke. So if things stay as they appear to be going right now, though there's still 3.5 minutes left, but we could have, and granted it's early and the rankings change, but it's still fun. We could have number 1 and number 3 for a championship tomorrow.
Well, what a second half Gonzaga's put on to Arizona. 55% for Gonzaga. And they really did a good job, the Zags, so far of limiting turnovers. I think they only have 2 turnovers in the second half.
Norvell's hit some big shots here in the second half. Hachimura's heated up. Kispert has knocked down a couple. Perkins will try another 3. Clark had it, corrals it, and finishes it.
Well, the floor is so spread that Brandon Clark was basically all by himself. And Clark now has 16 points.
Lee inside. Has it stripped away. Here comes Perkins.
It's this ball screen motion that Gonzaga is using is really spreading the floor and allowing it to go from side to side.
Boy, Norvell, he knows he wants to get rid of it as soon as he gets it. Again, confident as we mentioned, misses that 3 though.
He started, I think I said 0 for 9. He was 0 for 8, and then now he's got 20 points.
Nice cut and finish there by Lee, the assist to Coleman. No timeouts for Arizona, down by 9, 2:10 to go.
Really, all Gonzaga needs to do is use clock. There's no reason to attack early. Attack late.
And they got a lot of experienced guys on the court right now. That ball went flying into the stands, and the guy hit the guy in the side of the face, but fortunately he's okay. He's laughing about it right now. I mean, that ball got in there in a hurry, and
it should be like golf, you know, where somebody gets hit in golf, the golfer signs his glove or something. And Mark Few ought to sign a ball and give it to the guy.
Perkins is feeling it. They're all feeling it right now.
Well, it's just so hard. Arizona did such a good job defensively the first 30 minutes of this game. Just hard to hold this team down. So many scoring options. And that's going to set up number 3 versus number 1. Gonzaga Duke for the Jim Maui Invitational Championship. Unbelievable. I mean, and this team can. I thought that Auburn would give Duke a really good game, and they did. This team can. They're capable of beating Duke.
Hachimura a little bit shaken up after that drive to the basket.
I think they counted the basket. Looked like there was goaltending up top.
Might have been poked in the eye. And shakes it off. And they did count the basket, we were told. Look at the length on that stride that he had. And there's the swipe across the face that got him. Well, a goaltending call evidently to count the basket, and now a chance for a 3-point play. Hachimura up to 23 points.
Heck of a performance by Rui Hachimura. Even though he's not the tallest player on the floor throughout the course of this game, he's the biggest guy out there. And he is really big and strong.
What do you think of the possibility of, say, Hachimura and Zion Williamson guarding each other?
That will happen throughout the course of the game. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, Duke switches a lot, but you'll see Hachimura on Zion Williamson. You'll see Zion Williamson on Hachimura.
We got a lot to look forward to here in the championship tomorrow in Maui. Nice look.
It is just tough to score enough points to keep up with these guys. Gonzaga can really score. And how good is Gonzaga going to be with a healthy Killian Tilly?
Yeah.
They don't even have their best shooter.
If I were a Zags fan, I would be salivating at the possibility of Tilly, Clark, and Hachimura all on the court at the same time. They've scored 52 points in the second half.
Pull it back out or be careful.
And now they can run it out.
Arizona put up a lot of fight in this one, especially Justin Coleman.
And again, it's not over for them. Arizona-Auburn's a heck of a third-place game here in Maui. But the focus will be on the championship game, 5 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Number 3 Gonzaga and number 1 Duke. Rui and Zion. Going to be fun. (91-74). Gonzaga defeats Arizona. It is time now for our play of the game, driven by Continental Tire.
Well, Josh Perkins is an excellent passer. When he found his teammate, Zach Norvell.
Hachimura, 19 points, 6 rebounds. He's the high scorer for the Zags in this game. Coleman with 28 to lead all scorers, but he remains on the bench out of the timeout.
One of the questions I think you have right now is how much gas does Arizona have left in the tank? You know, can the Wildcats make a run here?
Perkins looking inside, can't get it to Hachimura, who now pops out. Crossover, pull up, got it.
Well, his mid-range game is really good.
He looks like an NBA player, doesn't he?
Well, he is an NBA player.
But I mean, like, right, yeah, you're right. All these NBA scouts seeing the crossover and the pull up. I mean, he's got a lot of tools.
Yeah, and if he can stretch it out to three-point range, with I think he should be able to do. And again, he's so young in the game. Got Ryan Luther on him now. He's bigger than Luther, but also much more skilled, so he can actually face up and drive him.
Yeah, I think if they compare him to a junior of equal ability, they'll give him the nod because, as you say, he's young in the game. He is still learning, and the upside is limitless for him, it appears. Perkins.
Boy, the second chance opportunities. What a great pass to get it to Perkins, but it's all because they got the offensive rebound kickout.
And this one has slipped away on Arizona in a hurry. Perkins, Norvell wide open.
And there's nothing Arizona can do about it. No more timeouts. So you got to wait till the next dead ball for the bell to ring so you can go back to your corner.
Jay, there's been a 25-point swing in the second half. Not if you can hear me.
What?
Deafening noise here in Lahaina. And a tough finish and a chance for 3 for Randolph. Under 4 timeout. A chance for everybody to catch their breath, but Gonzaga's gone from way down to a fair bit up to 25. And Luther's not in the game right now. He's gone out, so it's Lee and Aycott. So they're 6'7", 6'6" up front.
And Justin Coleman getting a little bit of a blow for the stretch. So really, you're looking at 2 guys that can really hurt you scoring.
Tough pass.
Got doubled and tried to throw it out. And just throwing it into traffic.
Well, Norvell thought about it. He'll do more than think about this one. Knew he missed it. Tried to run it down. Got a piece of it. And got a timeout called.
Seemed like Sean Miller's trying to steal a little bit of time to get Justin Coleman some rest, but just not a very potent scoring lineup out on the floor right now for Arizona.
Luther will check back in. Meanwhile, on the Gonzaga side,
both teams. I thought Duke really won the game against Auburn more with its defense than anything.
They've never lost a game in Maui. The previous 5 times Coach K has brought the Blue Devils here, they've won the title. And they'll be in the championship game tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern time, noon locally here in Maui against the winner of this one.
Is that why Coach K was lobbying for a Final Four in Maui?
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Makes
okay,
sense
now
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Capacity might be a little small here at the Civic Center.
Good defense by Rui Hachimura, not letting Coleman get the ball. Boy, what a great job by Hachimura. That was a great defensive sequence for the junior from Toyama, Japan. Would not let the little guy, Justin Coleman, get the ball back.
Because the little guy's been the biggest factor of anybody in this game with a game-high 28 points for the Wildcats. And now he comes up with a steal. Pulls up from deep.
A lot of coaches might not like that shot. Boy, Norvell he tried to make it look like a look away, but his eyes were always on Brandon Clark, so he actually did telegraph that pass. We got to come up with another term. The telegraph is such an old technology. We got to get like, he broadbanded that.
And a late whistle and a call on Clark.
It was the right one.
After repeated shot fakes, eventually got him in the air. That'll be number 4 on him.
Yeah, he put his chest into him, so I thought that was a really good call. Just late, but a good call late is better than a no call that's wrong.
After we wrap up this game, stay tuned for SportsCenter. Complete post-game coverage of this one and the Duke win over Auburn. How Drew Brees continues to make NFL history. And LeBron heading back to Cleveland as the Lakers are there tomorrow night. A game you can see right here on ESPN. Aycock back in for Arizona. Jones back in for Gonzaga. Chase Jeter, if you're late joining us, has fouled out of the game for Arizona. Picked up a personal to get his 4th. Didn't like it. Argued. Got a technical. So he is out of the game.
And he was out with 12 minutes to go in regulation. I mean, it was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Lee for Arizona has 4. Clark for Gonzaga has 4.
Gonzaga needs to get something going toward the basket. There it is.
Hachimura, beautiful feed from Jones.
Got action on the right side, reversed it, and the break to the basket, usually looking for a lob. But only Coleman was down there to stop Hachimura.
Randolph over Hachimura, and it goes.
What a strong drive and finish by Brandon Randolph. Sophomore from Yonkers, New York. He's a top 40 recruit, combo guard. The switch off the screen roll. And just able to get the angle.
Can't nail the free throw. Still a 2-point game with less than 7 minutes to go. 9th all-time meeting. Arizona's won 6 of the previous 8. Zags beat them in the most recent one 2 years ago. They'll start a home-and-home next year. Hachimura, no, bothered by Luther. Norvell the save.
What a great move by Hachimura. Just didn't finish it.
And a fresh 30. The ball nicked the rim.
He's got Randolph guarding him now. They need to get the ball into Hachimura.
They're trying. Kispert got him.
Great look by Corey Kispert. He saw it, the angle. Really well played by Hachimura. And Randolph got on top on the top side. He just held him there and held him off as the pass went over Randolph's head.
Coleman got a switch, got Jones on him. He's got him on his heels, but he turns it over. Kispert, no. Norvell, yes.
Gonzaga just quicker down the floor. And not enough red shirts getting back.
Timeout, Arizona. Their last timeout.
You know, they are undersized. It's going to, I really believe this. It is going to come down to the guards for Arizona. If they can keep putting points on the board at the level that they did throughout the game to this point, then Arizona is going to have a very good chance to win. But without that, their chances are greatly reduced because it's going to be hard to find points anywhere else.
The trio of Williams, Randolph, and especially Coleman, they've combined for 46 of Arizona's 56 points. And Hachimura makes them both. He's now got 13. Boy, both from the line and the mid-range jumper. His stroke looks so good. As you said earlier, the three still a bit of a work in progress for him.
Coleman got the switch. He can drive this one.
Lost the handle. Travel on Williams.
All he has to do is make a simple jab step. And if the defense doesn't react to it, then you pull up for the jumper.
Arizona turned it over 5 times in the first half. They've turned it over 6 in the second half already to none for Gonzaga.
Rui Hachimura doesn't even set a screen out there. He's just going out and slipping it. So they don't have to worry about him setting the screen. Just play the slip. He hasn't set a screen the whole game.
And all of a sudden he's up to 15.
At the switch again.
Good deflection there by Kispert. Slows down Randolph, but not for long.
Well, that was well defended by Kispert. He made him take a tough shot, and Randolph just made it off the glass. That was beautiful.
And see if they get Hachimura involved again here.
The Aycock shouldn't even bother to worry about that screen.
Boy, Norvell wanted the shot. How about Kispert running down that rebound? But he turns it over.
Well, he stepped out of bounds. And once you step out of bounds, you can't be the next guy to touch it. You can't see it right here, but after that, see where he steps out of bounds?
Yeah.
And you can't come back in, establish yourself, and be the first to touch it.
Arizona fans now rivaling the noise of the Gonzaga fans. Wildcats down by 2. Lee back into the game with 4 fouls and the ball. Good help by Norvell. Saved by Luther.
5 on the clock.
Coleman again. Oh, my. Oh, my.
How about that? Coleman with the step back.
28 for Coleman.
He's actually been better than the 28 he's put up.
Nice lob over the top. Easy finish for Clark.
And Gonzaga's been much better on offense, but it's been hard for Arizona to keep up the pressure defensively. Deeper you get into the game. Tough shot. Wow.
Randolph misses the 3.
That was a contested 3 and no need for it.
Perkins pushing. Norvell's open.
Isn't it amazing, Dan? You take a bad shot on one end, it leads to an easy one. It's almost like the basketball gods punish you for taking the bad shot.
That's a confident young man right there.
And Norvell had started out going 0 for 9 field in the second half, but it's their defense that's really improved. In the second half, Arizona's 2 of 9 from the field, 22%. They've coughed the ball up several times because of Gonzaga's pressure. So the Zags have really toughened up on both ends of the floor, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
It was 50-37 for Arizona, so it's a 19-3 run for Gonzaga right now.
This game is going to turn on the play of the Arizona guards. Justin Coleman, Brandon Randolph, Brandon Williams.
Aycock, no. Rebound, Kispert.
Good pass.
Perkins. And Luther racing back for the rebound. Coleman. He doesn't need much room or much time, does he? His 5th 3 of the game.
He has been spectacular. I remember Justin Coleman in his brief time at Alabama. Don't remember much of him from Samford, but this little guy can really play. He just brings it every possession.
Well, we saw a small guard in Jared Harper for Auburn, who's played his tail off in 2 games here in the Valley. 9-3 run, and their fan base is fired up. How will Arizona respond?
Justin Coleman has been the guy that has gotten them a bucket when they've needed one. Really, it's been Williams, Randolph, and Coleman have been the offense for Arizona. But Jeremy Jones got away with a little push there.
Turned it over, and a held ball. Oh, boy.
No, but that's the right. I think that's the right call there. When guys are on the floor, I think officials should be quicker to just call the held ball. But oftentimes you'll have a scrum until you want to give the guy with the ball a chance to call the timeout. You could have called a foul too if you wanted to, because Jones had possession. But I think that's clearly a held ball and should have been called just as it was, and maybe even a little earlier.
So the possession arrow keeps it with Arizona, but they've got only 4 seconds on the shot clock.
But there was a change of possession. I think they're going to say there was a change of possession.
Oh,
Jeremy Jones had the ball.
You're right. So now they've got 29. Aycott into the game again for Arizona. First time we've seen him in the second half.
One of the things I'd like to see him do is get rid of that possession arrow, and anytime there's a tie-up, the defense should get it. That's going to be a foul on Kispert if he's not careful.
Trying to stay with Jeter. Coleman trying to get it into him. Lobs it over the top. And Hachimura takes it, and Jeter commits a foul.
And a technical on Jeter.
I think he's going to be gone. He had 3, I believe. That's going to be 4 and 5.
Yeah, because the technical is going to count as a personal.
Oh, boy.
It's not a smart play by Chase Jeter.
Been around long enough to know better.
And Kispert did a really good job of just staying low and then knocking that thing away. And there was a reach. Yeah. Roger Ayers is as good an official as there's going to be, and you just can't go right at him like that.
So Chase Jeter with a personal and then a technical has fouled out of the game, and the free throws have given Gonzaga a lead.
That's a huge loss for Arizona, not necessarily for Jeter scoring, but for his defense. He defends ball screens, protects the rim, rebounds. He talks, just a presence out there.
And it means that a guy who is in there right now, Emmanuel Aycott, is going to have to give them some big minutes. Luther's in the game. Remember, Ira Lee's got 4 fouls as well. I don't know how these players can hear the whistle. What? I see what you did there. Shot clock at 10. Norvell, remember, he's a lefty, and it'll go.
It was all Arizona in this basketball game, and Gonzaga has completely turned this around.
Hard-fought affair. Terrific night for Marquise Golden. Will the Blue Devils play the Wildcats, or will the Blue Devils play the Zags in the championship tomorrow? Gonzaga saying they want to play the Zags. 10-2 run for Gonzaga. They've hit some threes. They've picked up the pace and the intensity in recent minutes as well. Ooh, miscommunication between Coleman and Smith.
Smith coming up from the corner, and Coleman going toward the baseline. Well, Coleman is just so quick, and he's quick with the ball in his hands. A lot of guys are quick, period, but it's not easy to be quick with the ball.
Hachimura kicks it out. Perkins. Nice cross-court look. Randolph squares up for a 3. And committing the foul is Ira Lee, reaching in, and that is number 4 on Lee. And there's the transfer, the senior, Justin Coleman, trying to keep him calm because Lee looks like he wants to explode. Jeter back in his place. Kispert. Boy, Gonzaga's getting some pretty good looks. But now a foul reaching in on Jeter.
Brandon Clark, I thought, just kind of going over the back when there's very little chance for him to have gotten that ball. It's just not a smart foul.
I was going to say both coaches are probably going to tell their teams that they committed 7 or 8 fouls in this game at the wrong time in the wrong place.
Yeah, you don't want to take away your team's aggressiveness. Boy, he almost shot the gap for a dunk there, but you have to be smart.
And now another call against Arizona. This one will go on Luther.
Yeah, one of these screening fouls. Oftentimes with these dribble handoffs or dribble exchanges, once you let go of the ball, yeah, he just ran right into him. And I don't know, there's not much there, but that's an emphasis this year that the officials have to call. And they call them a lot. All these screening fouls, a lot of them are coming on dribble handoff situations.
Clark has gone to the bench for Gonzaga. Jeremy Jones back in. Jumper too strong for Hachimura.
A good rebound by Brandon Williams to go down there as a point guard and stick his nose in there.
Nice little setup too, but the 3 won't go down for Randolph as it rims out. Oh, Sean Miller is screaming for a carry as that dribble came up on Norvell. Perkins. Nice. Boy, how tough is it to stop on a dime like that and then nail a step-back jumper?
It is really tough, and he's a good offensive player. Had a rough time in the game against Illinois. Turned it over 7 times. Had 9 assists. I mean, he played well at times, but boy, the pressure really got to him.
Smith misses the 3. Gonzaga can inch closer. Norvell got it. For the Zags, and they are right back in this game, Jay Billis, sooner or later.
Gonzaga head coach Mark Few coming out of the locker room, he said the focus at halftime was we got to stop fouling them. We sent Arizona to the line 22 times. He also said we got to get rid of these turnovers. They had 10 turnovers in that first half. I asked them, how do you slow down Williams and Coleman? He blatantly said, stop fouling them.
Let's see if Hachimura can get going. He had some moments in the first half, but also missed some time with some foul trouble. Kispert didn't score in the first half, misses the 3, and Jeter with a strong rebound in traffic.
Chase Jeter only has 2 points in this game on that up and under move. And there's a foul right on the opening play as Coleman able to turn the corner and go right into the body of Josh Perkins. That's 3 on Perkins. You know, once you're able to angle him out a little bit, you just got to make him make a tough shot. He's only 5'10". Make him score over you instead of going to the free throw line where he can score with no defense.
So Perkins has 3. His backup Crandall has 3. And Jeremy Jones has 3. And 3 other Zags each have 2. And Perkins is still pleading his case with one of the officials, but obviously to no avail.
Arizona's really done a great job of spacing the floor and spreading out the Gonzaga defense. That way, help is longer. Good help by Chase Jeter to stop that drive by Kispert.
Clark kicks it back out. Kispert long on the 3. Luther with a good rebound.
It's been 1 and out for Gonzaga.
And right now, Coleman is just getting anything he wants for the Wildcats.
Gonzaga needs to start pushing the tempo even after a made field goal. Get the ball up the court quicker. Arizona owns the tempo right now. This is a Wildcat tempo.
A block on Jeter. This is a Wildcats program. We're still early enough in the season. People are getting their bearings on what's going on in the sport. They are picked 4th, or were picked 4th in the Pac-12 preseason behind Oregon, Washington, UCLA. How do you see maybe those top 4 teams sizing it up in the Pac-12?
Well, early on in the season, I thought Washington could very well be the best team in the league. They got their doors blown off at Auburn in November, early November. Just one shot, not a good one. Arizona's turned Gonzaga into a half-court team. There's been no transition. They're playing 5-on-5, and right now the Arizona defense has been much stronger than the Gonzaga half-court offense.
Jeter slips underneath, can't finish on the reverse. Ball's loose and it's out of bounds, but it'll stay at this end of the court.
Getting the ball inside for Arizona will, I think, soften up this Gonzaga defense and open up some perimeter opportunities. Maybe even some drives on a kick out.
Sean Miller and Arizona won this tournament the last time they were here. 2014, defeated San Diego State in the final.
Stanley Johnson was the MVP in that one, if I remember right.
Gonzaga's also got a championship here in Maui. They won it back in 2009.
And Gonzaga played in one of the most memorable tournaments. They won a triple overtime game in the semi against Michigan State, which was one of the really the great games of all time, not only in this tournament, just in any pre-conference tournament. And then wound up losing to UConn when Denham Brown hit a late shot. Another barn burner ball game here in the Lahaina Civic Center.
Adam Morrison, former National Player of the Year for the Zags, hit 43 points in that triple overtime game. Jeter spins, blocked. Hachimura, Perkins, Norvell.
Boy, Norvell has not. That's his 9th miss in this game. I think he's 0 for 9.
And Gonzaga pulled from 3. Great block by Clark. It'll stay with Arizona. The Zags are just 2 for 15, Jay, from 3-point range.
Some of those threes have been contested. Some have been wide open. And Norvell has not gotten anything to go. And he's a very good scorer that can't buy one right now. Good pass.
Jeter surrounded. And still finishes, or did he? We had a 3-second call.
3 seconds. Yep. Well, it's still a good play. He just needs to go up right away with it. No need to wait for the defense to surround you. Go up right away. If it gets blocked, so what?
Gonzaga still hasn't scored here in the second half. It was 45-37 at the break, and the Wildcats have increased the lead.
And even though Arizona's offense has been good, and the tone has been set by Arizona on the defensive end.
Boy, he has such a solid-looking stroke on that pick-and-pop mid-range jumper.
Yeah, it was really just a slip into a pop position. He didn't even set a screen. Just went up to kind of fake a screen and got to his pop. And the defense had to honor what they thought would be a ball screen.
Randolph turns it over. Norvell.
When a shooter is struggling, sometimes it's just a layup or dunk that can get you going. Just to see it go through the basket.
Jeter is fouled.
On the turnover, it was Norvell that came over from the weak side to knock it away, throw the ball ahead. And probably a smart play by Brandon Williams not to go up and challenge and pick up a foul, which could have been a flagrant.
Norvell the foul at the other end to send Jeter to the free throw line.
I know there's a story behind Jeter having one leg of his shorts shorter than the other. I'm almost afraid to ask why.
Yeah,
it's clearly just not a. It's some sort of fashion statement. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, we do a lot of research, but we both stopped short on that one. Huh? Big shot. Kispert knocks down a 3. His first points of the game.
Gives a little hang loose sign after he's done. Now the crowd back into the game. Some energy in the building.
Are they ever?
Great split of the double team.
Wow, how nice was that from Brandon Williams?
Well, if you're not tight coming over in ball screen defense, the split of the two defenders was absolutely perfect.
Pace has really picked up. Perkins the kick. Clark's open for three.
Well, the pace has picked up, and Gonzaga playing with better pace on the offensive end. Arizona calling out a set play. They're lifting up into a 2-3 set here.
Williams driving again, and Clark was having none of it.
Gonzaga playing a little defensive at Arizona. He brings it every day. He can get shots for others. He can also get his own. He's really crafty. And has played his best basketball by far in an Arizona uniform in this tournament. 17 points in the first half. He had 18 points against Iowa State. There hasn't been a better guard in this tournament thus far than Justin Coleman with his efficiency. For a bad pass by Brandon Williams.
And now Gonzaga's got time to set up for a final shot.
Mark Few coming out in a 2-3 zone. Arizona did not handle it very well to turn it over without getting a shot.
Norvell drives, won't go. And Aycock down with a rebound. They got some time. The Zags with just one field goal in the last 7 minutes and 21 seconds of the half. Thank you. All right, Adnan, thank you. The winner gets Duke in the championship game tomorrow. And a couple of members of the Duke coaching staff, Chris Carrawell and Nate James. Got the laptops open, working hard. No rest here at Maui. This is not a vacation for everybody. This is a work week, a work trip.
It really is. Yeah. And once you get to Thursday, then you get a little bit of vacation and have some fun by the pool and all that. And there's some fun events for the players, just a couple of them, but it's really a business trip.
Arizona playing really well. Tough on defense. Now up by 6 after that made free throw. And a Gonzaga, which is such a good offensive team and so many different weapons. Look at that. 5 turnovers in less than the last 5 minutes and 10 turnovers already in the game. Let's get an update from the last Arizona huddle. Here's Kanoa Leahy.
You know, Jay talked about how Arizona should look to go through the post offensively, and that's exactly what Sean Miller referenced in that last timeout for the Wildcats. He feels like this Arizona offense has spread Gonzaga out, opening up either baseline or post area drives and or passes. So maybe look for that as something that Arizona will try to exploit.
Interesting because they're still getting used to each other with transfers and freshmen and sophomores in a much bigger role. We'll see how much they are able to go inside. Jeter's not a great offensive player on the post. Luther's a guy more than posting. He'll step out and shoot jumpers. He's a good three-point shooter as well.
I think Chase Jeter is a good post player, and he's much improved. He's not your standard sort of bull down low, but he gets to his jump hook. That up and under move he made, obviously great. A really beautiful move, and he can move his feet. So he can go from one side to the other, make a catch on the run. Really good in sort of screen and roll situations. But just getting a post touch. And they can move different guys into the post. Like Ira Lee can make a post catch. Good defense there by Lee. Boy, the rotations are really good.
Running hook by Clark, a little bit short. And the Zags not getting a whole lot of second opportunities either right now.
Well, they're not. And the shot that they're taking is usually really difficult because they have to shoot over people. And that's part of the Arizona defense. They make you take tough shots and tough twos. And if you can do that without fouling, you're going to have an impact throughout the course of the game.
Ira Lee, the moving screen for the foul. Arizona by 8, much to the delight of one of the biggest Wildcat fans we know, Terry Francona, the manager of the Indians, who is wearing us out on text right now. He's so excited what he's seen in the first half.
Us being you.
Yeah. Well, because you told me I couldn't give him your number. Like you do with everybody. In fact, I don't even have your number. Coleman inside and a foul on Clark.
Don't like that call. That was not a good call. The referees get 90% of their calls right. That's in the 10%. The offense went into the defense there. And the shot was blocked up top with no contact. He went straight up.
Yeah.
That is a bad call. He's in legal guarding position. The offense went into the defense. The shot was blocked cleanly. Those are difficult to call, though.
Clark sits down with his second. 5 different zags, each with 2 fouls in this game. And how about Justin Coleman, the 5'10" senior out of Birmingham, Alabama, 2 years at Alabama, 1 at Sanford, a grad transfer now to Arizona. He's got 15 points in this game.
He had 18 in the game yesterday, and he is really good off screen and roll situations, not just looking for his own offense, which he can do, but finding other people. And he's a really good leader. You know, it's not easy for a guy to come in as a transfer and take over as a captain, and Arizona has 2 transfers that are captains. One, Chase Jeter, the other one, Justin Coleman.
Norvell at the line now for the Zags.
I think the captains for Arizona have little C's on their jersey to note that they're captains.
Like hockey?
Yeah, I had a C on my jersey to note my grade point average.
Gonzaga just trying to narrow the gap a little bit before halftime, avoid having anybody pick up a 3rd foul, and regroup at the break. A real scrappiness about this Arizona group so far here tonight. Williams off a screen. And now it'll be Luther called for the foul for Arizona. Well, this is Feast Week, and that means there is basketball all over the place, including the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis, another great Thanksgiving week event, with Wisconsin and Virginia being the 2 ranked teams in the field there. It all gets going tomorrow on the ESPN family of networks. The semis on Thursday and the championship game Friday afternoon.
Is it possible for Virginia to be ranked number 4 and be underrated? I think they're underrated. And I think a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute, they lost in the first round. They're the only team to ever lose to a 16 seed is number 1. I get that. But that team only lost 2 games last year. And they've got basically everybody back. And now DeAndre Hunter is healthy, who is an NBA player. And I expect, who knows what will happen, but I expect that Wisconsin and Virginia should play in the final of that tournament, that battle for Atlantis. And man, that's going to be, if that happens, that will be awesome.
With the way Duke looks, with the way Carolina has looked, with Virginia, there are going to be some, and there always are, but
Florida State.
Florida State, yep, off to a great start. ACC is going to be terrific as always.
How about Virginia Tech also?
Yeah.
Virginia Tech just beat Purdue. Virginia Tech's just, they don't have everybody back, but just about everybody.
Remember, these Arizona Wildcats were in the Bahamas last year. They came in highly ranked. They lost all 3 games. That can happen to you in fields of this caliber. Aycott is fouled and will go to the free throw line. Imagine going to a tournament thinking you're pretty good, and yeah, the field is tough, and you walk out of there 0-3 like the Cats did last year.
Yeah, it's difficult. But no matter what happens, you have to take these games and improve upon. Your weaknesses are going to get exposed here. But also, you can come out of here with your strengths being exposed as well, and you can take a tremendous amount of confidence. You have to feel like Arizona's taken a ton of confidence from the way they played in their first game against Iowa State and the way they're playing in the first half of this game. This is a big last 2 minutes of the first half. Really big. Can Gonzaga cut into this lead? But you can also see Arizona. They could stretch this sucker out.
Randall at the point with Perkins on the bench with a couple of fouls, and now a foul on Lee. Lee trying to keep that emotion inside. Obviously unhappy about that call. That's his 3rd. He becomes the first player of the game to pick up his 3rd. A total of 8 other players. 2 Wildcats and 6 Zags, each with 2 fouls.
Petrushev missed a couple free throws earlier, but he's got a pretty stroke. Another guy that is a big 6'11" can stretch the floor. He's really getting a lot of extra minutes with Killian Tilly out. So when Tilly gets back, they're going to have a much better Filip Petrushev, who's got experience. Gonzaga could be improved as a result of it.
Petrushev, just a freshman. Foul on Randolph. We have had a total of 25 fouls called in this game.
Well, it didn't look like he got hit. It just looked like he fell.
They're making 26
contact,
fouls.
but yeah, but they're going to call that every time. I mean, even though Coleman probably slipped more than anything, there was a little bit of contact there. They're going to call that every time.
And Arizona not only getting to the line a lot, they are making them count. Now 16 for 19 as a team from the free throw line. And Crandall sits. And now we see a Gonzaga lineup, or Perkins will come back in. So Mark Few's going to send his starting point guard back out there and trust him not to pick up a third.
But when the game's being called close like this, one of the things teams can do is just lift up their offense and then rip and drive it. Get into a higher set offense. Where you got everybody basically across the free throw line, maybe 2-guard front, and then just rip and go.
Don't settle, basically, right?
Well, yeah, like if the referees are calling it, then force them to call it on your end. You get the ball back too,
Hachimura from the free throw line. Pretty.
How smooth is that? Just rises up, and that's 6'8". Boy, his hands are huge too.
Nearing the final minute of an impressive first half for Arizona. Petrushev got a piece, and then a foul on Jeremy Jones. His third. And the depth for Gonzaga will really be tested here tonight. Mark Few, such an incredible run in Spokane. It's his 20th season as the head coach of the Zags. He's made the NCAA all 19 years. Been a top 4 seed 8 times, and of course advanced to the national championship game, losing to North Carolina 2 years ago. And he's very proud of the culture that they have, the kind of people they get, and again between the international recruits that they get. They use the red shirt very well. Players go there knowing they might redshirt, but they see other players redshirted and got better. So they don't oppose the red shirt as much. And he's just got it going year after year.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. That's a certainty.
Norvell.
And Arizona can get the last shot, stretch this lead out. Could be 10 or 11.
And Sean Miller will use a timeout.
What a terrific first half for Arizona. And it was really jump-started on the defensive end. I know they've got 45 points, but it's because of the Arizona defense. That's an up and under. I think Chase Jeter, did you see him looking at the camera and smiling just there? He had to have known he was being talked about. That's right there. There's a switch right now on Aycott.
Too strong. Down with the rebound is Jones.
Hachimura back into the ball game before that last timeout. I think Mark Few needed a little bit more offense into the ball game. Here comes the double.
And Clark is called for the travel. That is the 9th turnover committed already by the Zags.
Well, they haven't been turnovers, at least, where Arizona can take it the other way. But the turnover disparity is just a number of possessions where Gonzaga doesn't get a shot. So you don't get a shot, you don't get a chance to get fouled, and you don't get a chance to get an offensive rebound. All things that are good things that are taken away by the turnover.
Aycott into some traffic, got out of trouble. Still 10 to shoot.
Well, Jeter needs to get the ball.
Ball screened by Jeter to try to free Williams. Jeter had it, knocked away. Here comes Clark.
Also had a mismatch. They never got it to him.
Jones, an offensive foul, or did he count it?
No, it's an offensive foul.
Yeah, offensive foul called on Jones. That's turnover number 10. Is this a case, it's kind of a cliche question, but if one team playing over its head or one team not playing as well as it needs to play here?
No, I think Arizona, this is what Arizona does. They're a very good defensive team. They don't score as well. Boy, what a play by Barcelo. That was great hustle. Boy, he was not in a position to be first to that ball, but he was first to the floor. What a fantastic play. Ball knocked away. That's awesome. Just awesome.
And Sean Miller's getting good work out of his bench, sprinkling in guys like Lee and Acott and Barcelo here and there, and they're all contributing in whatever ways they can. That's one thing that Coach Miller's actually pleased with, considering the players they lost, is he thinks their depth is pretty good, all things considered. Boy, Randolph wanted that shot, rattles it out.
Well, that was a good shot. He was wide open, but I think getting the ball into Chase Jeter would be good to play a little inside out.
Hachimura, 6'8", 230, trying to back down Randolph, and helped by Jeter, but a foul is called.
Just have to make him take a tough shot. Arizona defended really well, then bailed him out with the foul.
ESPN's exclusive presentation.
Injury, had surgery, will likely not be back maybe until the new year. What are they missing?
They are missing their best shooter. 6'10", big guy that is athletic and run, block shots, but he can really stretch the floor. He comes from a volleyball family, Killian Tilly does, and was an excellent volleyball player himself. So he's got that, quick burst off the floor, but he's just a baller that can play pick and pop. And I mean, one time last year in the West Coast Conference tournament, he had 11 straight threes in that tournament. That's for a big guy, for anybody. 11 straight threes.
The prospect of Tilly, Hachimura, and Clark all being out there in the front court at the same time is pretty imposing.
Really imposing. Because they can stretch in, they can make plays.
And Jones draws a foul. The Arizona fans and bench wanted to travel.
Well, Arizona doesn't make anything or allow anything easy on the defensive end. They're there on cuts. They communicate really well. Sean Miller's always talked about make the play after the play. Alex Barcelo basically got run over there by Gino Crandall. The referees didn't see it.
Norvell. And Clark might have pushed off.
He did push off. Yeah. That was a two-handed push.
Let's check in with Kanoa Leahy.
Well, in the Arizona huddle, Sean Miller was focusing a lot on the defensive end. He said we got to defend with all 5 players, and he was emphasizing keeping the hands up. He feels like Gonzaga's been able to pass the ball around the floor too easily, passing it into the post without enough resistance. That was the message that he wanted to send to his guys.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kanoa, because you get some pressure on the ball and have your hands high. You can take away vision to discourage a pass. And a pass discouraged is just as good as a pass denied.
Lee 1 of 2. Still, this 3-point lead for Arizona is the largest lead of the game for either team.
Because before it had been 2.
That's right. And then they made a free throw there. So
out. What a pass.
Norvell finds Clark.
Boy, just what Kanoa Leahy was talking about, getting hands up to discourage that pass. 2 jumped out on Norvell as he got that little ball screen, and all the action was an overload on the left. That was just beautiful.
Rebound bounces around and into the hands of Perkins. Crandall from the wing. A couple of pretty physical guys in Clark and Lee underneath the basket, digging for every rebound. And now we got a foul going against Gonzaga, and Josh Perkins is hopping mad on that call.
Let's take a look at this last sequence here. Right after this screen, there's going to be a little cut, almost like an Iverson cut. And there's the screen right there. Now watch, you're going to see Clark go to the basket. And just a beautiful pass by Zach Norvell. Ryan Luther a little bit late getting there just because of the overload on the left side. And that just opened up the middle for Gonzaga's offense. That was beautifully executed and a fantastic pass by Norvell.
Number 2 on Perkins, Jay. So Perkins and Hachimura are both on the bench with 2 fouls. Will Mark Few try to get through the rest of the first half without him?
Well, you know, he's got experienced players, so you can put them back in, and you have to trust that they're not going to foul. But you do have some other options. And it's nice to be able to put Gino Crandall in there, who, when he was at North Dakota, had 28 on Gonzaga.
Long rebound comes down to Randolph. Again, he is tough in transition, tough when he's driving to the basket.
Boy, that long shot produced a long rebound that was essentially an outlet pass for the Arizona transition. Walk. Got to come to a jump stop, but the pressure is really bothering Gonzaga. They had a different kind of pressure that came at them with Illinois. The pressure was all over the court. But that long rebound allowed Randolph to take it the other end, and he just almost Euro-stepped right past Norvell to lay that in. Arizona's playing so well on the defensive end.
Yeah, this fan base is lapping it up right now here in Lahaina. They're the underdogs, let's be honest. Yeah, they're Arizona, but this is not the typical talent level that an Arizona team has had. They're playing the number 3 team in the nation. The Zags are loaded, but Arizona's playing great right now. Alex Barcella, the 6'2 sophomore out of Chandler, Arizona, is into the game for the Wildcats. And as you can see, Mark Few has brought back Hachimura with 2 fouls.
Chase Jeter looking to get the ball inside. He's really working hard to get it.
Trying to back down Clark. Got him in the air. Up and under.
Well called by you. An up and under move, which some people think is a double clutch going from one side of the bucket to another. That is not it. That was an up and under move, and beautifully executed by Chase Jeter. Chase Jeter worked so hard to get that ball, first on the right side of the court, then on the left. And he's a big reason why Arizona's up by 7.
Google Translate and find, and you know what? I don't care if they were correct because it was fun.
what a sweet kid he is, though.
You know, another thing that's going to be on Hachimura's radar, obviously already is. Let's not forget the Olympics are in Japan in 2020, and he's got a chance to be the face of Japanese basketball, much like, in my opinion, Yao Ming was, you know, some years ago for Chinese basketball. And Japan won't necessarily get an automatic bid. It's up to FIBA to decide whether they award them a bid. As Williams gets inside and Hachimura is called for the foul. But, you know, if he can play for them in the Olympics, I mean, he becomes a national star. And if he can get to the NBA, now we're really talking about something that, you know, could make basketball much more of a mainstream sport in Japan.
Well, he'll get to the NBA, there's no question. Basketball is popular in Japan. It's just not as popular as baseball.
That's a second foul, though, so that's a problem, and it looks like he's going to come out as Kispert's getting ready to check back in.
That was a really good zone attack by Arizona. Chase Jeter came up, set a ball screen at the top to try to give him an advantage on ball reversal, and Williams he's a good driver, Brandon Williams. I really like his game. He's a good passer. He's a playmaking point guard that can play the 2.
How about 7 ties and 11 lead changes in 10 minutes?
Wow, that spot is very good for Josh Perkins. That's the second shot he's hit from there. And the 5th-year senior from Colorado is feeling it offensively.
And the Zags staying in this 2-3 zone with Perkins and Norvell up top.
Well, Arizona has not proven to be a great shooting team just yet, but if they move the ball like that and get open shots, they will be an excellent shooting team.
Coleman from Williams, and the Wildcats back on top.
Boy, Coleman, who did not start off the season shooting well, is shooting very well now.
Perkins, nice look. Clark, good help there defensively by Randolph. Norvell off the glass, too strong. Weak side followed by Jones.
It just continues to be Johnny on the spot. Jeremy Jones, another stick back after having 11 rebounds against Illinois.
And with Hachimura on the bench with 2 fouls, there might be some big minutes out there for others right now in the first half, depending on how long Mark Few keeps him on the bench.
Good pass.
Clark couldn't finish. He'll go to the line.
Now, Jeremy Jones started out his career at Rice, but he's a football player. The heck of a quarterback. But he is, nobody boxed him out. Came in from the weak side, was able to get that one-handed tip in. But he's long, he's athletic, he can drive the ball. And he's a very good offensive rebounder, as he has proven. 6 points a game on the season, 5 rebounds per game. Half of them on the offensive end.
You know what the largest lead in this game has been, either way?
3.
2.
Isn't that crazy?
Close. Yeah. The largest lead has been 2 by either team.
Back to man now.
Boy, Randolph is slithery, isn't he, when he tries to get into the lane?
Well, the fact that he's able to get a middle drive is not going to make Mark Few and his staff very happy at all. But the ball's moving from side to side. A good screen by Chase Jeter. And Kispert having to trail around, and Brandon Clark just didn't do a very good job of helping out and allowing Kispert to get back in there. You got to take away middle.
There weren't a lot of minutes for Brandon Randolph last year as a freshman, with guys like Alonzo Trier and Raleigh Alkin still with the team, but he's gone from an 11-minute per game backup into a focal point in the starting lineup for the Wildcats this year. Kispert floater, offensive foul.
Chase Jeter doing a nice job of moving his feet to take away that baseline drive. Kispert's big and strong, but Jeter just moved right off of Brandon Clark. Got a rotation down from Justin Coleman. The defense, as is usually the case with Arizona, has been very, very good. It's a tough team to score upon.
Williams passed up the shot, and a foul is called on the Zags to take us to immediate timeout. We got a good one going on here in O'Malley. One of these teams is going to the championship game to play Duke, and we're all tied up at 26. United States. Didn't know a whole lot about the Zags, but committed to Gonzaga, went to Spokane without really being able to speak much English at all. We talked to one of the assistants for Gonzaga, like, how did he manage in school? As they go for the home run pass to Perkins, and he'll lay it in. And they had faculty members, English as a second language, ESL professors helping him. His English has come a long, long way. You talked about the aggressiveness, that they keep pushing him to be more and more aggressive. And he's kind of a kind-hearted, soft-spoken kid. And back in his freshman year, Jay, like, Mark Few would tell him to do something, and he just didn't understand enough English to do it. When Mark Few said elbow, he thought it meant, like, you know, the elbow, the joint on your arm. Didn't realize it had another meaning on the basketball court. But as his understanding of English and his aggressiveness have continued to rise, he's gone from a player who didn't play a minute in the national championship game against Carolina to a good player last year, and now a guy who, again, looks like he might be one of the best players in the country this year.
And Mark Few made the point that Rui Hachimura is talking to pro scouts saying, listen, this guy doesn't have a lot of mileage on his tires. He may be older by our standards, but he didn't play AAU basketball. He's still incredibly young in the game. And the best part of his game is ahead of him. He's going to get a lot better than he is now, and he's really, really good right now.
See the numbers in the early going, almost 23 points per game in the first 4 games for the Zags, who are up 1. Hachimura on the bench right now. Petrosev came in for him. You know, Crandall, a transfer, is also into the game for Gonzaga, as Norvell lines up a 3, and Petrosev is called for going over the back. And, you know, he's looking around saying, hey, I just went up for the ball. That's rebounding. And there's a big guy.
He didn't go over the back. Yeah. I think it was a push in the back before he went up. That's what I think happened. See, he pushed there and then he went up. He didn't go over his back. That was behind him. But it was, that's just rebounding to me. I don't get a lot of these calls. But look, that's the way it is. You got to adjust to it. But I think they ought to have at least one guy over 6'8" on the officiating crew that's actually rebounded before they call some of these rebounding fouls. Like, that's where you want physicality, is rebounding. The other areas, like in cutting, you want to take, you want to take the physicality out of cutting, so you can't bump cutters and grab guys and hold them. But there's got to be physicality in rebounding.
Some subs in for Arizona now, as Williams, one of the starters, uses a screen and knocks down the three and puts the Wildcats back on top.
Williams did a really nice job off that screen and roll situation, not going too fast.
Brandon Clark spins and banks it home. What a move.
What a move, what a finish.
The junior out of Vancouver, British Columbia, grew up in Phoenix and has mentioned the transfer out of San Jose State. Well, Dylan Smith committed the cardinal sin right there. Got in the air before he knew what he was going to do with the ball.
Well, after he got that initial contact, which oftentimes may be called a foul, he didn't sort of just get out of there, and compounded the problem.
Gonzaga with a win over Illinois, as Jay mentioned, turned it over a lot. The Illini can do that to you. And Arizona with a hard-fought win over Iowa State to advance to the semis. The winner of this game gets Duke in the championship tomorrow. Hachimura back in and can't finish it. Ball is still loose. Petrosev digs it out of there. And good work on the offensive glass by the Zags.
First by Petrosev, and then you had some guards sticking their nose in down there. Zach Norvell, chief among them. And Norvell is such a good player. He can really shoot it. The lefty has got deep range from Chicago. Played at Simeon High School. They call him Snacks because he's like candy when he was a kid. Who doesn't like candy when they're a kid? Everybody likes candy when they're a kid.
Did they call you Cap'n Crunch when you were a kid?
They should have. I can't tell you all the feedback I've received.
Yeah.
There is a lot of sort of cereal controversy out there. The Cap'n Crunch thing.
C-E-R-E-A-L cereal?
Yes.
Not S-E-R-I-L.
Yes. No. Because I've been asking on 94 Feet, what's your favorite breakfast cereal? Cinnamon Toast Crunch has been getting a lot of play. We expressed surprise that Cap'n Crunch wasn't higher on the list. And a lot of people say Crunch Berries. I'm a purist. I do not want Crunch Berries.
No. Lucky Charms was a solid answer there. This is Emmanuel Acott, sophomore out of Winnipeg. Lost it, got it back. Jeremy Jones is on him. He was sensational in the Zags win yesterday. And now we got a foul on a three-point attempt going on Gino Crandall.
Well, you can't foul there. It was a good possession of defense. As you mentioned, Jeremy Jones did such a good job, and you are right. He had 14 points, 11 rebounds in just 17 minutes against Illinois, but not a whole lot of contact after the ball was released, but still, you got to protect the shooter. That's just a bad foul by an experienced player in Gino Crandall.
Transfer from North Dakota. Arizona before this game tonight had won 3, or before coming to Maui had won 3 home games. Houston Baptist, Cal Poly, UTEP. Obviously the level of competition stepping up here to Maui. They beat Iowa State by 5. And I mean, all 8 coaches feel this way, but man, oh man, are these coaches going to learn something about their programs given the strength of this field, which even by the standards of this great tournament is kind of off the charts this year.
Well, there's nothing easy in Maui in most years, but there's definitely nothing easy this year.
Good pass. Petrosev and a foul. Nice find by Norvell.
You just have to guard multiple actions, and really it takes for defense against Gonzaga multiple effort plays, because if you get one screening situation, you are going to get another one. You may get a screen and slip, then a screen roll. I mean, you got to guard so many different actions against Gonzaga, and they've got a lot of plays they can go to on that menu.
Petrosev, the freshman, had a great summer playing for Serbia in the under-18 European Championship. Serbia won the championship. They beat Latvia to win it, and Petrosev scored 29 points in the championship game, and just yet another example of a really good international player who goes to Gonzaga. And it's almost like, it's kind of, as they go zone now, it's kind of word of mouth, Jay. I mean, international players look at the Zags and they see how successful other international players have been in the program, and that motivates them to give it a try.
Well, Gonzaga's a major program. I mean, it's not a question. They're in a mid-major league. This is a major program. Great fake.
Great effort on the glass by Luther, but he couldn't finish. And what a steal by Ira Lee.
A really poor pass by Crandall. He's coming out of there.
Perkins getting ready to check back in. Zags in the 2-3 zone again.
Rebounding is the issue.
Hachimura down between a couple of Arizona defenders.
Hachimura is really the biggest guy. He might not be the tallest guy, but he's the biggest guy on the floor.
Baseline jumper.
How about that? A jab step. You have to worry about the drive, maybe a spin move, and he just rises up and shoots over. That was pretty. Got to get some action in the middle of that zone. Some cutters in the middle. There it is.
Lee spinning on Petrushev, no, and another rebound for Hachimura, and here he goes. Boy, good position by Petrushev, but he lost it on the way up. 1-point lead for Gonzaga. Preseason All-American, first-round pick. Forget about it.
Hachimura in person was right after they played in Okinawa in the Armed Forces Classic a few years ago. That game against Pittsburgh that was cut short at halftime.
Gonzaga in white, Arizona in red, and the opening tip belongs to the Zags as we show you the starting five for head coach Mark Few, including Josh Perkins at the point. We told you about Hachimura. Zach Norvell Jr. makes some big shots for this team, and Brandon Clark on the inside. The transfer from San Jose State is going to have a huge role for Gonzaga this year.
Little roll replace action, and it got Brandon Clark down in the low post, and Chase Jeter able to recover to get between him and the basket, but Clark is just so athletic and so quick off the floor, able to get that foul and complete the play. He is a lot like Jonathan Williams was for last year's Gonzaga team, and Williams now with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Williams. Wow, soft touch high off the glass.
And over Brandon Clark, not easy. Boy, Williams has 22 assists and just 2 turnovers on this young season. That is remarkable for anyone, let alone a freshman.
Corey Kispert misses the 3, and Hachimura called for going over the back.
A good block out by Ryan Luther, the transfer from Pittsburgh. But a switch, and Clark on Williams. Williams able to get that over him, just extending that right arm and kissing it off the top of the glass. And he's a good-looking young player. Hasn't shot the ball well yet, but he will.
That 3 a little bit short for Justin Coleman, the grad transfer from Samford, who is terrific late in the game for Arizona. Their win over Iowa State yesterday in a quarterfinal.
Arizona playing man-to-man defense. Their pack line.
Perkins turns it over. Here goes Randolph, and he'll finish.
And that's what Gonzaga has to avoid, are those turnovers for touchdowns. Gonzaga turned the ball over 22 times against Illinois. And Arizona, a different kind of defensive team. They're more a containment defensive team.
How about that? Hachimura comes to a jump stop, and 2 defenders fall down like bowling pins, and then he lays it in.
I'm not sure on a jump stop there's enough contact to make everybody fall, but maybe it was an offensive foul on 1 guy, but not 2.
Here he goes again. How talented is this guy? Again, a lot of people may not have seen him, but this is a guy who is rocketing up NBA mock drafts and is thought of as an All-American early in the season here in his junior year. Chase Jeter, the transfer from Duke.
He is one of the best players, Hachimura, in the country. And he's just getting better and better because he's getting more and more aggressive. And with that aggressiveness, his skill set can really come out. Look, he can grab a rebound and rip and go on his own.
Like that? A little bit too strong on the jumper.
Well, that's what needs to improve is his jump shot. It's a little mechanical, but it's getting better and better.
Coleman. Nice kick. And the 3 won't go down for Williams. Hachimura with another rebound. A long stretch without a whistle here to begin this game.
Arizona, not a great shooting team. At least they haven't made shots at the level that I think they can.
Lost all 5 starters from last year. We told you most of the recruits did not stay after the FBI investigation. So there's no question that the talent level in Tucson is not what we have seen in prior years under Sean Miller. That 3 will stay down for Coleman.
Justin Coleman, just 5'10", one of the 2 captains. He and Chase Jeter scored 18 points against Iowa State, knocked 4 of 8 down from 3-point range. That's his 6th 3-pointer of the season. 4 of them came against Iowa State.
Yeah, the 5 starters for Arizona, 3 are transfers, including Coleman. 1 is a freshman in Williams, and then 1 is a sophomore in Randolph, who has stepped into a much larger role this year. And speaking of guys stepping into a much larger role, Hachimura was a very good player last year. Stardom is expected of him here this year.
But both those guys went down. There was no contact at all. That was pretty good. But Hachimura, that was a really nice job on that second one in transition to use his body to shield off the defender. I think it was Luther, and go to the other side. Then Luther's going to pick up a screening foul just on that little back pick. You just have to stay. That's a point. Screening is a point of emphasis for the officials right now. Anytime you lean into one, they're calling it.
But you're happy with that, right? The freedom of movement is important.
Well, freedom of movement. I don't care about the screening. It's more the cutting. What you don't want to see is kind of overdoing on the screening. But what the hope is, I think, from the rules committee, is the players will adjust and they'll stop moving around on all that.
Clark with a nice drive to put the Zags back on top.
Clark is such a good finisher. You just don't see athleticism like he has with his quickness off the floor.
Randolph driving on Kispert and draws the foul.
Kispert was forcing a difficult shot. He just got right with his arms into the body of Randolph and picked up that foul. When he angled him out, that's enough. Make him take a tough 2. When Gonzaga's really good now, think of how good they're going to be when they get back Killian Tilly. Little 2-3 zone now out of the out of bounds. They started in man, just went into a zone after the inbounds.
Yeah, I think a couple of players weren't quite aware. Perkins was hollering at Norvell to get in the zone out of the inbounds play. And Coleman, as Norvell left him, Coleman knocks down a 3.
Coleman has been such a steadying influence, not only for this team, for this program. Scored 9 straight in the second half against Iowa State. That made the difference in the game, really.
A steal by Clark. And the easy finish for Filip Petrusev, a freshman from Belgrade, Serbia.
Clark is a difference maker on this team. And that was a quick jack by Brandon Randolph with Clark right in his grill.
Petrusev down with a rebound and a steal. Just a pass without enough zip on it. Randolph comes up with it. And a goaltending call. Count the basket to put Arizona back on top.
That's 2 buckets off Gonzaga turnovers that Mark Few would say are totally unnecessary.
ESPN's exclusive presentation